All righty. You want to get to the good match. There's always one.
Yeah.
The Intercontinental title was on the line with Gunther against Big Bronson Reed. And this, again, Gunther's brilliant because he works completely differently against big guys and small guys. Whereas with the small guys, he's going to milk the chop. He's going to wait for the people to make the people wait to finally hear it land. And he's only going to use a few because it's a little guy. But with this big 400-pound they started right at the bell, the chops, the tackles, the kicks, because he's got to fight more now, Gunther does, to get a guy of this size down. And Bronson Reed, to me, he does great stuff, but when he's just doing stuff nonstop without a change of the pace, that's kind of been his thing, where he'll try to do too much shit. And I like that Gunther slowed it down a little bit with the sleeper, but then obviously would put Bronson Reed's power over. And to the point where he took a backdrop on the apron, Gunther did. But with a guy that wide, you've got a pretty good base. But anyway, then by the time they got deeper into the match with the 2 counts, it was big moves. Bronson Reed hit a Death Valley driver, got a 2 count. Gunther with a clothesline, got a 2 count. And then finally, when Bronson Reed hit that big superplex off the top rope, it got a 2 count, but got a big pop, because people were starting to buy this might be it. And then Reed misses the splash off the top. Gunther hits the drop kick, the clothesline, splash off the top, 2 count. Holy shit. And then he had to spin him into and pick him up for and give him a power bomb. And one power bomb on a guy the size of Bronson Reed, it makes sense that's it, because you just picked up 400 pounds and dropped him on his fucking head. 1, 2, 3. It was a great finish that built. The people it was back and forth enough that they were on the roller coaster. They created enough doubt that people started popping on Bronson Reed's false finishes. And then it took Gunther more than it takes him for the average opponent for him to put the guy away. But still, it wasn't a ridiculous 5 power bombs on a 400-pound guy. It wasn't stupid. So this I actually liked in the middle of this dreary New Orleans funeral march.
Another good Gunther match. What is it, a month and a half straight? Good Gunther match or good Gunther segment in the middle of the show.
Good Gunther. That's what we ought to start saying every time we see a good match. Good Gunther.
Is he your favorite wrestler today?
With Ripley, Breaker, Gunther, and a couple of others, probably. Yeah, but he's in top 5, certainly.
All right.
Anyway,
there's some news. Some of the people in Jim's top 5 favorite wrestlers today.
Well, how can you not? Because they're the best or are going to be the best in the business at what they're doing or are going to be doing.
If you include AEW, who are your favorite wrestlers today?
Well, I mean, besides, honestly, in AEW right now, besides FTR in tag team matches with the right opponents and not, some of their clowns, and MJF, for his verbal ability and his potential, he so seldom has a match these days. They're always good, but they're rare. And his presentation now handicaps him from being as entertaining as he used to be. Besides that, is there anybody in AEW that's currently on my favorites list?
So it was Rhea Ripley, Gunther, Braun Breaker. Who am I forgetting?
FTR and MJF, I just mentioned.
MJF. No Cody Rhodes?
Well, you asked about AEW.
I said combine. I said altogether your favorite wrestlers.
Oh, well, I was going over to the other side of the fence for that. Cody's doing a great job, but I'm not surprised. Some of these people, I'm like, wow, I'm really surprised they're that good. With Cody, I'm not really surprised, but I enjoy watching him unless it's, typical average television match that we might skip every so often.
Would you say Charlotte is one of your favorites?
Charlotte would have to, well, you can't have it's the old fucking cliche. You can't have one midget. You've got to have another girl. And
that old cliche. Yeah.
That old cliche. Well, it happens sometimes. So you got to, and Charlotte's the best of the rest of the female division in any company, is she not? So
someone like Juice Robinson, you wouldn't put him on that list yet, but he's someone you've enjoyed most of his work so far? I like watching him, but I like watching Juice, and I like hearing him talk when he gets to, but I'm not advocating that he be the next face of the company at this point. And then someone like Jay Lethal, who would have been on this list if I had asked you a few years ago, it's just where he's been, how he's been used, where he's been used, on what shows he's been used, right?
Yeah, exactly. What are all the answers to all those questions? You see him in a group every once in a while. When he wrestles, he gets beat. And otherwise, he's just there for one of the Stooges to dive on him so he can catch him. So,
is Austin Theory on your list?
A Theory would be on the list. But at the same time, I'm a bigger fan of Gunther than I am of Theory. Because Theory is still young and he's going to get better. Gunther's had a lot of experience. He's still getting better. He's improved his physique, but Gunther's pretty perfect. Theory's still got development to do as he gets older.
So, to my original question, is Gunther your very favorite today?
Okay, I guess, yeah, he is. Then you beat it out of me. Gunther's my guy.
I rest my case.
Good Gunther.